Hello, hello, and welcome back. Episode 2, where we are focusing on faith, purpose, and leadership. My name is Garrett Lowe. This is the Cornerstone Coffee Break, where we are focused on three main things, and that is to help you deepen your faith, discover your purpose, and develop your leadership. In this episode, we are talking about where the leadership journey begins with LYF, LYF, lead yourself first and leading yourself well. This could look like a number of different things. This could look like leading over your environment, bringing order out of chaos, like cleaning your room, leading over your resources, stewarding your time, your energy, your money well, leading over your body, leading your body. The Apostle Paul talks about this by saying that I discipline my body and I make it a slave. So today we're going to look at just 5 ways that we can start leading ourselves well. And these are areas that I am challenging myself in. So I'm not pretending to be perfect in each of these areas, but what I do want to share with you are these are 5 areas that I am challenging myself on and have challenged myself on very regularly. And so I just want to share with you a little bit about how you can start to become a better leader by leading yourself well. This is where the leadership journey often begins. And so, I don't know what you're doing right now. Maybe you're driving to work. Maybe you're on your way to the gym. Maybe you are taking a walk. But regardless, I am so grateful that you pressed play and are listening right now. And so, before you lead a team, before you lead a family, before you become a leader in business or ministry, you have to lead yourself. And if we're honest, that might be the hardest person to lead. I mean, have you ever tried to lead yourself to the gym in the morning? Because there's multiple versions of you. There's the disciplined you the night before who makes a declaration and says, I'm going to go to the gym in the morning. And then there's the morning version of you that wants to hit the snooze button one more time. Little tempting. And that snooze button's very persuasive. But I once heard someone say the greatest leadership challenge you'll ever face is that person you see in the mirror. And so leadership just isn't about influence out there. It's about stewardship and leading yourself well in here, in your heart, in your mind, your thoughts, your habits, your attitude, your relationship with God. And so the truth is you can't lead others well if you're not leading yourself well. You can't reproduce in others what you're not practicing yourself, and you definitely cannot fake it long term because eventually people around you are going to start to notice. And honestly, you already know. So don't fool yourself. Get serious about leading yourself well. And so today we're going to just look at 5 ways that you can lead yourself well. And the first one starts with identity. Who are you? I'm reminded about the movie The Lion King and how Simba lost who he was. He was living this Hakuna Matata lifestyle. He was lost. He was distracted. He was just living for pleasure. And honestly, that is so easy to do, especially here in America, where we just numb out. We bounce around from pleasure to pleasure. And Simba had to be reminded of his identity in order to lead well, in order to go back to Pride Rock, in order to make a difference in the world. And he needed that mentor, that Rafiki character, to have him reflect and look into a mirror and say, "Look hard." And Simba eventually returns back to his truest identity, that he is the rightful king and that he should go back and lead. So, how much more important is it for you to get clear on your identity and to lead from a place of your truest identity? For me, as a Christian, my identity is found from Scripture, what God says about me. Some of the ways that you can start getting secure in your identity is going to Scripture and reading all the beautiful things that God says about you. Ephesians 2:10, you are God's masterpiece. I believe it's Psalm chapter 8 that talks about God. He created you and crowned you with glory, made you a little lower than the angels. So, like, think about these angels and these angelic beings, and you were created just a little lower than them, but crowned with glory. Another practical way that you can get more secure in your identity is taking some assessments online, whether that's the Myers-Briggs assessment, the Enneagram, the DISC profile. What house would you live in if you were at Hogwarts? Or, what Disney princess would you be? None of these assessments are going to be 100% accurate, but they are going to reveal something about you, how you were wired, equipped, and gifted. And that's how you should be leading. You should be leading from your identity and who you are, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, and not leading from a place of approval, but leading because you are in the position that God put you in and He gave you the personality that He gave you to make a difference in the world. So you should not be asking the question, am I even qualified to be alive? Yes, of course you are. God created you. Your identity needs to be rooted in who God says about you, not your performance, not your productivity, not in how many things you checked off your to-do list. Those things are going to rise and fall. But who you are, who God says you are, that is steady. That is what lasts. And that's the foundation that you need to build on in your leadership. So the first thing is your identity. And one more encouragement here is I'm reminded of a prayer that St. Augustine prayed where he said, Lord, let me know myself and let me know you. John Calvin took that prayer and expounded on it, and he calls it double knowledge and says that all growth is built on the foundation of truth about God and truth about yourself. So if you want to grow as a leader, start with leading yourself first by learning about who you are, who God says you are. That's the first thing I would encourage you to do. The second thing that I would look at here is taking responsibility. I get it. Your circumstances may not be your fault, but they are your responsibility. So if you want to grow as a leader, stop making excuses, stop blaming other people for where you are, and start taking responsibility and focus on controlling the controllables. You need to move away from any type of victim mindset that you might have. A victim mindset sounds like this. This is happening to me, and there's nothing I can do about it. That is so wrong. And that is not what we see in Scripture. We see God calling people, no matter what the circumstances, to control the controllables. God has put things in your control that you have power to influence. If everything is always somebody else's fault, then you're never responsible to change anything. And so while a victim mindset might protect you from responsibility, it's also going to rob you of freedom and any difference you can make in the world. Because if you believe you have no control, then you're never going to take action. And over time, that mindset, it doesn't just affect your circumstances, it shapes your identity. And so then your identity becomes, I'm a victim. And you stop seeing yourself as someone who can grow. You start seeing yourself someone who's only managed by life. And that is not how God designed you to live. So, number one, get clear on your identity. And number two, control the controllables, right? Take responsibility for every situation that you're in. Again, it might not be your fault, but you do have to be responsible with how you respond. And you can't control everything, but you can control your response, your attitude, your habits, your next steps. Honestly, leadership doesn't always look like big, bold decisions. A lot of times it just looks like these small ownership moments. Getting up when you said you would, admitting when you were wrong, having the courage to have a hard conversation, taking one step forward instead of just making excuses. That's leadership. It's not always easy, but it is empowering. Because every time that you choose ownership and responsibility over blame, you're not just changing your situation, you're actually becoming the type of person who can lead. Number one, focus on identity. Two, control the controllables. Number three here, simple but hard. Build daily rhythms, daily habits. We become the sum of our habits. All right. We all love big moments, big decisions, big breakthroughs. We love the day. We love the idea of waking up one day and thinking everything's going to change today. Sometimes it does, but then Thursday comes and something bad happens and we get the wind knocked out of our sails. But your life is not built on big moments. Your life is built on your everyday decisions and healthy rhythms, healthy habits. And this is something I'm challenging myself in. I have an accountability partner. Her name is Eva. Eva, what's up? Shout out to you if you're listening. But we've challenged each other to wake up early and to start our day by investing in ourselves, whether that's prayer, journaling, taking a walk. Something I've learned through leadership is that it is the small, consistent practices that shape your life. It's not what you do once in a while. It's what you do every day that when no one's watching, that's forming you, that shapes the type of person and leader you're becoming. So let me ask you a question. What rhythms are shaping you right now? And are they good ones? Are they good rhythms? All right, just to recap so far, see what we got. Number one, start with your identity. Lead from a place of identity, knowing who you are. Number two, taking responsibility, moving away from the victim mindset and learning how to control the controllables. Number three, building daily rhythms, daily habits, these small choices that are going to make a big difference in your life. Number four, the fourth way of leading yourself well has to do with the first few moments of your day. Win the first moments of your day. The first hour of your day deserves your attention and your intention. What are you doing with the first hour that you wake up? I am challenging myself in this area. Before you reach for your phone, before you open your inbox, before the noise of the world gets too loud, what are you doing to invest in yourself, to bless yourself, to grow yourself? Are you spending time in prayer? Can you spend time journaling? Can you take a walk? Can you sit in silent meditation and focus on what's going on in here in your heart before you go out into the world? All right, this doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be an hour or even half an hour, but it could be going outside for 5 minutes and getting that morning sunshine, drinking a glass of water, getting hydrated right away, reading a passage of scripture and just saying a short prayer. The first moments of your day, I forget what leader said this. It's on a, I think it's Dan Miller. He said the first hour of your day is like the rudder of a ship. And so you really want to win the first hour of your day. And some of the ways that you can do that is journaling, meditating, taking a walk, hydrating. Whatever you do, though, find some way to invest in yourself right away, first thing in the morning. That's going to help you become a better leader when you can lead yourself in the first hour of your day. All right, there's one more that I want to share with you. This one's a little harder, but it's a significant way that you can lead yourself well, and that is slay your dragons. You have them, I have them. It's bad habits, fear, excuses, sin. It's the things we tolerate that hold us back. It's the thing that is holding you back from who you could become, from the leader that you could become. The Bible speaks directly to this in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. It says, "Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." I love that imagery because it doesn't just say sin, it also says everything that hinders, which means not everything holding you back is wrong or sinful, but it might just be slowing you down. Some things aren't wrong. It's just extra weight that you shouldn't be carrying. In order to run your race well, you might be carrying things that you were never meant to carry or hold on to. It can get exhausting, and you wonder why growth feels so hard. I remember someone saying this phrase to me, um, you cannot defeat what you do not confront. I was at a leadership conference last year, and I remember one of the speakers said that, and it really stuck with me. And leading yourself well means being honest enough to name the things that you need to confront, and the courage you have to deal with it. Being courageous enough to deal with it, because the things that you avoid, they're not going to go away. They're just going to grow quietly in the background. I don't want to challenge you confessing or confiding or sharing with a friend something you're struggling with, and go to war with it. Slay the dragon. Yeah, you might be doing this in private. Maybe there's not a lot of people that know about this. Maybe it's just a close friend and maybe a counselor, but these private battles that you fight, slaying your dragons, that's going to lead to a greater influence publicly. So if you want to lead well out there in public, then you've got to deal with what's going on in here in your heart. And maybe this week, stop trying to manage that thing or try to justify it, but throw it off. Get rid of it. Go to war with the dragons that are extra weight or sin that easily entangles, and free yourself from the bondage of those things, whether it's excuses, bad habits, sin, fear, whatever it is. But these 5 ways are really going to help you start becoming a better leader. As you lead yourself well, you'll be able to help lead and influence other people. So, number 1, it was identity. Really getting clear from leading from a place of your truest identity, what God says about you. Number 2 is to get rid of the victim mindset and control the controllables. Number 3, focus on some daily rhythms or actions you can take, daily habits that you can build in your life. And number 4, put them in the first moments of your day. What are you doing in the first hour of your day? And finally, the last one, number 5, slay your dragons. The things that are holding you back, the things that are keeping you from becoming the leader that God meant you to become. I really pray that this episode helps you lead well and live well, and that as you learn to lead yourself well, you can then lead your team or your tribe. And we're going to get into that in another future episode. Thank you so much for listening. I'm grateful for you. God bless.